Jacksonville Bar Association podcast. My name is Craig Shoup. I'm the executive director here at the Jacksonville Bar. And today we're excited to have Iana Benjamin. Iana is a family law attorney at the law firm of Cordell & Cordell here in Jacksonville. But as you'll learn in part of our later conversation, is actually practicing from Germany. So before we get into everything, I do want to say a special thank you to all of our Jacksonville Bar Association sponsors. Again, a special thank you to all of our sponsors that help us put on all of our great programming and events. Well, Iana, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming from so far away. This is not a Zoom interview. This is an actual in-person in Jacksonville. She's come over from Germany. Tell us a little bit about you, though, and kind of before you get into the whole Germany thing. I know you went to Florida Coastal. Tell us a little bit about your bringing up in the law. What made you want to be a lawyer?
So growing up, I was surrounded by lawyers and teachers, and it was like almost a natural progression. My dad's a lawyer, and it was like seeing him every day doing what he does. It was like, okay, maybe this is something I'll be interested in. He actually wanted me to be a journalist, but I'm using words in a different capacity now.
Well, and you're still able to use some of your journalistic thoughts because, as many of you may or may not know, Iana is the editor of the Bar Bulletin that we publish in conjunction with the Jacksonville Daily Record. Yes,
I love doing that. It definitely gets to my writing skills, and I enjoy working with you.
It's always great. Tell us a little bit about your practice, a little bit, maybe. I know you practice family law primarily.
Yeah, so we practice, at Cordell, we practice domestic litigation. So what that means, it's everything to do with the family. Divorces, child custody cases, adoptions, anything related to family issues.
And then I know from the commercials I've heard on TV, you guys focus primarily on the male side.
Yes.
How does that work?
So we advocate for men. So we find that in many family law cases, men don't get a fair shot at, actually parenting. So many of our judges in the Fourth Judicial Circuit now default to equal time sharing for each parent. And that's great, but that's not the case in every jurisdiction. But yes, we advocate for men in divorce and in men in child custody issues.
So tell me a little bit, what took you to Germany?
So yeah, and it's so interesting practicing remotely. But COVID happened, right? And my husband was given an opportunity to work in Germany. And the firm, because of our judges practicing remotely via Zoom, the firm gave me the opportunity to work remotely as well. So I actually work on American time. So it's like 2:30 German time to like 11:30 German time. But I get to try to do hearings and stuff earlier in the day, so like the 2 o'clock hour, which is like 8:30, 9 o'clock here, so that I'm not like up at 11 o'clock trying to argue on a motion. So, but yeah, it's been challenging, but it's been 2 years and it's almost to its end.
So y'all looking at coming back soon?
Yeah, so it's a 3-year tour. It's a 3-year deployment for him.
Great.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the quirkiest thing you've had while working on the American time in Germany, dealing with clients, dealing with judges? What's the quirkiest thing that happened?
I think I try to make it as seamless as possible for our clients and stuff, but like I feel like the quirkiest thing that has ever happened is a client calling me at 11 o'clock and trying to like, okay, I'm ready to shut down, but I can't yet because, he needs something. We have a policy of trying to definitely be responsive to clients. So I think the quirkiest thing is just taking a call really late. Yeah.
So tell me more, what made you want to keep practicing here instead of maybe trying to start practicing in Germany?
So it's not that simple with transitioning through international waters, because I would have had to probably take courses and take an international bar. And then the language barrier is the biggest thing, right? I speak some Deutsch, ein bisschen Deutsch, but not enough to be fluent and capable of actually handling a case. Yeah, and not only that, I'm not licensed there, so yeah.
Have you had any judges or anybody ever, maybe not necessarily here in the Fourth, I know you practice statewide,
yeah,
but any judges kind of push back on, hey, why are you not here?
Absolutely. Well, that's why I'm here. So I'm here for a trial, actually. I had to fly in for a trial because this particular judge refused to have the trial via Zoom. So I had to fly in for it. And the client absolutely wanted me to be here, so that's why I'm here. But yes, judges have now started, because they've started to reopen things, they have now required in-person appearances in many cases. And the fourth, we're really, really good. Our judges are really, really good once they have advance notice about attorneys still appearing via Zoom and requesting that. We can request that, but some judges in the smaller counties in particular, they're like, no, we don't have the technology and we want it in person. So
yeah, it's definitely a balance. And how many times have you had to come back for in-person?
Twice. Yeah.
So I know also we talked a little bit about editor of the Bar Bulletin. You've been doing that for several years now. Tell us a little bit about that.
I love it. So, and I encourage more people to get involved with it, because you get to interact with so many different people in the community. Our members are really great about submitting articles. Sometimes we have to haggle with them to get some stuff in, but for the most part, they're really happy to contribute writing to our Bar Bulletin, and people love it. I love especially the judges column now, where a judge contributes, and I think our membership benefits from that greatly.
It's always great, part of being part of the bar is the ability to get to know the judge off the bench.
Absolutely.
And we try to do that in many different ways, from social events, CLEs, different things, but this is another great way to learn about different judges. I know in our March 2023 edition, we learned about Judge Roberto Arias as he's here now leaving the bench.
Yes, he's retiring after so many years of service. So awesome for him.
Absolutely. And so we try and highlight, again, a judge a month is an exciting way to, again, for our members to connect with the judiciary, who are also our members.
Yes, I love it. And our membership have given us good feedback, and they have said that they love that addition from the judges as well.
Let me ask you this. If you could practice anything other than family law, what would you practice?
Probably immigration law. So before I started practicing family, I practiced immigration. It was really rewarding. I was able to assist a particular family. His family came from Ecuador. He came from Ecuador. He came across the border, and he was able to fall in love with an American citizen and get himself adjusted, his status adjusted. And that was some pro bono work that I did through the JALA, Jacksonville Area Legal Aid. Yeah.
You've been involved with them over the years as well. You want to talk a little bit about your involvement with legal aid and pro bono?
Yeah, so it's hard to practice law without giving back. Like, there's so many people in need. They're so grateful for the opportunity to work with a lawyer, right? So yeah, it's invaluable. Like, just take a case. I always say, just try it. Even if it's a practice area that you're not familiar with, you'll get the assistance and the resources that you need to, assist potential clients.
And the professional liability insurance too.
Major. That's major. Yes.
So part of this series, and one of my favorite parts of these questions is, and you probably already know where this is going, the food.
Yes.
And you've been in Jacksonville, you got some favorite spots here.
Mm-hmm.
So give me some of your favorite, like, you're here for a very brief time before you go back to Germany. What's a couple places that you've got to hit before you go back?
I am a big Matthews fan. I have to eat there. Like, I eat there too much, actually. Madura is a little further away. It's outside of Jacksonville, but I really love what the brothers are doing, the Madura brothers are doing. So Matthews is my hit spot, and if you have time to go down to Ponte Vedra, Madura.
Okay, and so this will be a question that no one else will probably get. What are some of your favorite foods from Germany? Like, and what are the foods that you really crave over there, the snacks that you just are American snacks that you can't get over there?
So, interesting fact, there are 14,000 Americans in my town, in Wiesbaden, Germany. So, because we're close to a military base, I can access almost anything. So I'm not missing out on any snacks. But what I really enjoy that the Germans make is schnitzel. I mean, we make it here too in the US, but not like them. Like, their seasonings are probably really different, and it's one of their staple dishes. Yeah, yummy good stuff. Probably you don't want to eat it every day, but yeah, it's really good.
So we appreciate you taking all this time. If somebody wants to maybe talk to you about a case or how to be more involved with the Bar Bulletin, what's the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
So for the firm, in terms of a case, you want to call 1-866-DADS-LAW. And if you need to reach me directly regarding the Bar Bulletin, it's 904-456-9126.
Thank you so much. We're excited you were able to stop by real quick before you head out to trial,
Yes.
and while you're here for just a short time. So we thank you again for giving us that valuable time. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you're interested in being a guest on this podcast, please reach out to us here at the bar office and we will get you scheduled and love to have you come and just have a conversation. We look forward to seeing everyone on our next episode.